we are now back with the second round of our tournament. Unfortunately, I did record this thing already, and I went in completely blind. I had some, in my opinion, very good takes, and my mic decided to take a huge dookie, so I had to re-record everything. So on the left side we have Diony, on the right side we have Pascal, both playing the Ruby Amethyst deck, and two great players in our store. Honestly, really good players here. And therefore, I'm really excited how the mirror match will go. Obviously, I already know it. God damn it! I was so excited that because I had such like some really good takes here, and then the game ended in like really unexpected things. I was really hyped and everything. So I'm trying to recreate and pretend like I don't know anything. But the players are taking the mulligans. I think in this matchup, it's the most important to go first and have a very good line of play. So we can see here, Dion is trying to keep a. Is this what he wants to keep? No, I think this is what he wants to mulligan because I can see Be Prepared, Fox, Late Remain. I think those are late cards that you don't really want in your starting hand. So yeah, he does redraw those cards. And then I do know that Dion is going first. So that is a big advantage in this matchup, I think. Getting to 7 first means if you're behind, you get the first board clear and then reestablish with, for example, Lady Tremaine onto a one character board. Or just play more aggressive, which I think this matchup really needs. Because if you play too slowly, you're behind after the Be Prepared trades, and therefore you just really want to go aggressive. So it all depends on what you draw. If you have to go into bounce, so someone's knocked the camera. There is Pascal. So yeah, I was actively asked by them on the tournament to mention Pascal's slow playing abilities because they're apparently very good. But yeah, it's all for shits and giggles. It's all fun. Everyone's really nice at our locals. Everyone's really fun. We're having a blast over here, and we do see the start of inking a goat, going with Mini. Just a very standard turn one play. So let's see if we can match Mini into Mini, because honestly, that's one of the funniest things ever. Or if it's gonna be an Olaf to spice things up. I think 1-3 1 costs are really good in general. I think that stat line is hard to beat. Obviously, Snake is now Maui into Mini. Perfect, we're matching. But as I said, Snake is like your best turn 2 if you want to trade. But so we do see a Cusco coming out here. I think Cusco was very underrated for the longest period of time because I've played it basically from the get-go. When I started playing Blue-Purple Control or Elsa Infinite Loop or whatever I was playing, it was a fun deck actually. But yeah, Cusco's just been making an appearance in this list because usually Ruby Amethyst wasn't running Cusco and in the beginning, obviously. So now they're running it, and I think it's a very strong card. And so we are matching the Lorgan. Are we bouncing? Yes, we are bouncing. So while Dione is not really going for the early bounces, Pascal decides to start the bounce engine, and let's see what Dione does here. Obviously, Teethan, there's a Maleficent. Obviously, if you have Teethan Ambition with Cusco, it's really good because that means the snake cannot trade into the mini after he quests, but we're just going for a quest for 2 year, and we're gonna pass. So this board is really strong. You probably want to run your snake into the Mim and then maybe play a Fox and then run into the Cusco and then force your opponent to trade with another Fox. Obviously, you can trade with Maleficent, but she's a great singer, which you can't with Fox in the first turn. However, we can also play just a rabbit or something. So we are taking the trade here. Slow our opponent down a little bit, give them a worse bounce target in Cusco. Obviously, we can Maleficent Sing and then bounce Maleficent instead, playing Mini and Cusco. So he's really basically rebuilding the board state, except for the snake compared to Maleficent that they only had on board. So we are definitely going to Sing here. Yep, there's the friends from the other side. And I think we drew an Elsa and a snake here. So let's see. Are we going to play a rabbit? Or are we going to play one drop plus another Mim? Like a Fox Mim? I don't think you want to trade the snake though. Oh, Learn to Fly. That's a really good card. And very surprising. I did not see that in many lists. So we are going for the rabbit. Draw the card. It was Be Prepared. So we are ahead on ink, so we are the first ones to be able to play Be Prepared. I can't really see into Pascal's hand that much to see what's going on there, but I don't know if you want to trade board states here, or if you want to swing. You're still far from Be Prepared yourself, so I think you do want to kind of trade, because you know the person going first is just going to aggro quest into you, which is what they're supposed to do. Therefore, let's see what he does. He pays 3, so it's a crab. Okay, so that's really good. So you get a card draw, you get to clear your singer. Obviously, rabbit can sing as well, but we get rid of one of the singers. We can trade into the Cusco, give the opponent this card draw, we quest, and we create a pretty decent board state here. He has not inked yet, so he could still play another 1-drop and play aggressive, because there's no Be Prepared coming from Dione for the next 3 turns. So we're inking a goat as well. And we're just going to pass, so we don't have a 1-drop here. Which I don't even know if you want to establish another 1-drop, if you want to keep it as a guaranteed ink source, because you're going to 5 next turn. You can start playing your goats, your rabbits, your Mauis, even if you need to. And there's a second rabbit coming from the OD. So his board state is basically like, I don't care what you do, I'm going to draw a million cards. Which, that's really good. You can just keep questing. If you trade, you get so much value. So we're paying 1, we're playing an Olaf as well. So that's, yeah, that's really strong. So let's see what's gonna happen next. So we're going to 5. Do we have a Maui? Even if we do have a Maui, I don't think you want to take the trade. Okay, he has 2 Be Prepared, another rabbit, a crab, and a whole and friends from the other side. So you probably sing with the crab here. Yes, you draw 2 cards. And then hope you find, what do you want to find in this situation? Find another Be Prepared, and then evasive 3-cost mini. So yeah, it's a great, you could play the evasive mini and just like try to match the aggression on board, or play rabbit and draw as well. That's pretty good too, but I think because you're still far away from a Be Prepared, the mini would make more sense, because you can get 2 lore out of it. You can spam quest basically, and therefore match the rush that your opponent is putting onto you. So basically force the only to play the first Be Prepared, and you know you have 3 in your hand at this point, which is quite wild. But we'll see. So we're picking up another friends from the other side. Dione is all the card draw in the world. Damn. So that's a massive advantage, because he's already ahead on lore. He has a very good board state against the Be Prepared or potential removal. And he can just continue to redeploy for Pascal to act. Let's see what he does here. Is he going to use a rabbit to sing friends, or is he just going to hardcast here? I do think you would hardcast it if you don't have a better play, which I don't think I see a better play. His hand is very expensive. So yeah, he's going to sing. Is he trying? Oh, he finds another rabbit. Oh my lord. So that's another card plus Be Prepared plus 3 cards. So he's inking an Olaf. He's probably going to play the next rabbit in that case. Or he's going to bounce one and then trade. Okay, so he's going to bounce one of the rabbits. And he can redeploy another rabbit, essentially. So, yeah, no. This is... and he picks a Maui up from the top of his deck, so... That's really nice for you. And then you obviously quest for 2. Keep trying to rush. And let's see what Pascal does in this situation. You could basically try and get rid of you. Or you have a second crab, right? Yeah, so you can play the second crab, trade the rabbits, trade the Olaf with the snake, and quest for 2. 3, actually. Rabbit mini... Mini wants to trade into Olaf, so it's quest for 2 plus crab. Or again, play the evasive mini, because it can generate you quite a bit of lore before she says goodbye to the board. Heavily debating here. Oh, he also has a tap Pinocchio, which I think is a very great card, especially against for cards like Steel Beast, when you don't really have any ping damage except for Teeth and Ambition. It's really good. So okay, so he trades the crab into the Olaf, which yeah, is completely fine. I completely forgot that crab has 3. So he should put 1 damage onto the crab. And then he's playing the Shift Pinocchio to trade snakes. Or the Tap Pinocchio to trade snakes here. Which would make a lot of sense. Yeah, so he's tapping the snake and he's trading it. And then you just want to quest for 2. You could trade 1 rabbit into the other rabbit, but that makes 0 sense in my opinion. Like, you want to keep up with your lore. And therefore, I think that this was a very good turn for him. Despite Dion's massive advantage of having infinite card draw, essentially. For this situation, this is infinite card draw. So we are inking the crab. Are we going to play the mini? We know that there's a Be Prepared that could be coming. And the Be Prepared here is really attractive for Dione, don't get me wrong. But I don't think you would want to play it yet. I think that you would want to redeploy more into the board. Because if you lose your boards, you don't care because you draw infinite cards out of your board. But at the same time, if you now play Be Prepared, you're giving Pascal a chance to redeploy the board first and then maybe get ahead. So yeah, he basically does just that. He's just gonna continue deploying to his board and say, hey, I'm chilling here. I get much value out of my board if it dies, so I don't really care. Is he gonna play the 3rd rabbit? So first he's gonna sing, drawing a Elsa, and I think a goat. Thinking the Maui, is he gonna play the goats? Yep. Yeah, I think the card draw is whatever. If there's a Be Prepared now hitting your boards this turn, then you do just want to... Okay, there's another rabbit. No Be Prepared, I'm surprised. But yeah, you don't really want to get 3 cards drawn out of Be Prepared if you can stick to 1 rabbit in your hand and then redeploy with a more card draw into potential bounce into more card draw. So I think that was absolutely correct to play the gold here. Also not surprised that Pascal is not playing the Be Prepared this turn, considering he also has a rabbit and he can match the card draw. But obviously what he doesn't know is that there's a 3rd rabbit in Dion's hands. So I imagine that Dion is just going to ink and he's just going to play another rabbit. And he drew another goat, so he's probably going to play another goat as well. And that 99% puts the nail in the coffin or forces Pascal to just play the Be Prepared. And we're also so close to lethal range with a board like that there's no other option. So it's like, you have to be prepared, you play it. If you don't have to be prepared, then it's lights out. But I'm pretty sure Pascal also knows that. So that's why I decided to not be prepared yet. So there's the 3rd rabbit. So it basically draws 3 cards off of a Be Prepared. And probably gonna play a goat again. Yep, there's a goat. So he's also gonna get 2 lore, which is really, really strong. And that Be Prepared will not feel good. That Be Prepared will hurt. You do get 2 cards off of it, sure. But at the same time, you lose so much. So yeah, it's probably just gonna put everything to the right, get some lore, and then play the Be Prepared. S3 Be Prepared in the mini in hand. I didn't see any other card here. But he should have another card because we already knew about those cards. So there should be something else in hand. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, it's just turn everything sideways and then play to Be Prepared. Get rid of everything on the board. So yeah, we draw a total of 5 cards here across players. And Dione also generates 2 lore for himself. Which, you know, when I play against Ruby Amethyst, my main goal is to make sure that they don't get a lot of value out of their goats, because that's what can break your neck. So I usually always clear the goats as fast as I can, basically the second they hit the board. But I don't really care about the rabbits as much, because their win condition is still quest a bunch and get a bunch of lore. But if they quest a bunch and you can race them with something else and you could just get rid of their gold so they can get 3-4 lore out of them, then that's really good for you. So that's also how I usually win the matchup if I play it. So there's an invasive mini, there's an Olaf. So the owner's just saying, could you just play Be Prepared? I'm just going to spam the board with some cards. Has a ton in his hand anyway. See Elsa, Be Prepared, some Maleficent, Dragons. And I'm pretty sure that there's just another Be Prepared here. You're saying, okay, you put 3 cards from my hand onto the board. I'm just gonna make sure that those 3 cards are wasted. And I don't think Pascal really has anything to match the current board state anyway. So he's gonna ink a Goofy, which I'm surprised he plays Goofy over whatever the card's name is. The, I think 2-cost evasive. So there's another mini. So that's the third mini for Yoni. It says Lady Tremaine in hand. Be prepared. Maleficent. Oh, there's an Isma. Is he thinking? Okay, so he's thinking about using the Isma or not. I do think it's correct to use the Isma here. Okay, so there's Lady Tremaine. So the reason I think that the Isma is correct here is, yes, you could potentially gain 3 Lord out of this board and you're not threatened by your opponent's Lady Tremaine, but you also have a ton of removal in your hand. So I think drawing the extra cards and saying, hey, if you clear my board again, I just have so much resources, I don't really care. I think would have made a bit more sense than putting more time or less time on the clock that's already ticking in your favor. So I do think Isma would have been a really good player. Because if it was Isma into your opponent's Lady Tremaine, you just play your own Lady Tremaine and whatever other card you drew. Because you see, Pascal just redeployed 1 character, so it was Be Prepared plus Maleficent. But if you had an Isma on board, this would have still probably be his line of play, and then you would have had Lady Tremaine to follow up. So let's see what Yoni does here. I think he could play so he could have played the Maleficent Dragon here, but he's deciding to ink it for a goat, which is fine. And here is the Isma to get an additional one. So this is good. Obviously, he didn't have the goat beforehand. Now having the goat, that display feels a lot better than putting a mini back into your deck. So I do get it, obviously. But in the current situation that he was in and the cards that he had in his hand and available to him, I think it would have still been a great play to do the other way around, where you have the Lady Tremaine's removal. There's a Maleficent Dragon coming out from Pascal. And we do have an Elsa in hand. So actually the Elsa here would be amazing. Because, yeah, you don't care about the Cusco. But I do think you just slam the Elsa here, freeze the both of the Maleficents. And you have a second Elsa. So whatever gets redeployed, you just want to take care of the singers. If there's a friends from the other side, force him to hardcast it and reduce his potential ink. When we see 2 Elsas, a snake, be prepared. So are you just gonna play the Elsa? Probably gonna just sing a friends from the other side. Or play it first. Another snake, and then the evasive mini. Yeah, and I think it's just Elsa. I think you don't even need to debate that. You don't really want to... You could be prepared this board, obviously. But you're so far ahead. Playing the Elsa and having a second one. It's just... Yeah, it's basically just like a guaranteed win at this point. Because you also know you've played through 3 Be Prepared. So yeah, freezes both of the Maleficents. And let's see what's happens next. We're playing another Maleficent to draw a card. So I think you want to get rid of the tapped Maleficent and then freeze the other ones. Because that means that there is no friends from the other side that can be sung. Yes, to hardcast, as I just said. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But I mean, it's also pretty much just game over at this point. There's mini, pass the turn, and that's it. So Dione picks up the win here. Ended up winning our entire store tournament for that day. So that was our farewell games. Again, I did record 2 more. One had a camera freeze, one was like before the tournament. And I could upload that. It was my deck against the Amethyst. However, those were the 2 important matches I wanted to pump out. And unfortunately, re-upload this one. But it's all good. 2 good players. It was a fun tournament overall, and we cannot wait for the next set to drop. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you next set. Bye bye.